Our first game is in the under-20s. It is Parramatta playing host to Canberra. 6th and 7th on the competition ladder. And here we go, edition 6 of Super Saturday. A cracking day in Sydney's Golden West. In fact, it feels like the middle of summer for what should be a beauty in the under-20s. The Raiders coming off a good victory over the Bulldogs on Monday night, a victory their character was tested. The Eels got taught a lesson here last Sunday against the competition big guns. I speak of the Penrith Panthers. Good charge there from Craig Field, setting the platform for Jamie Stowers. A nice fast play the ball. Matt Price over halfway. Ball free. Strippers the call. And the first penalty inside the opening 60 seconds.
Yeah, Zach Wolford just in and around the football there, and great opportunity. As you spoke about that last week, they had a great 40 minutes against the Panthers. They had a really good start. It was their second half. And the Raiders, traditionally, they are slow starters.
Keep coming. Keep coming, keep coming.
Here go the Eels.
Okay, hold, wait for the top, go.
Inside the 20. And as predicted, named in jersey number 3, but playing in the back row, Terrell Fuimano. Good power running from the Eels again. It's Field. Price moves into dummy half. Looking to the right-hand side. That's the way they go. Through Darg, and a good ball. An equally as good a tackle on Mason Cerudo. Late addition to this football side. Price out the back again to his halfback. Playing on the inside this time. They are busy. They've got numbers around the football. Good tackle from Wolford. Also involved Daniel Dole. To the left-hand side, deep and wide. They've got numbers here. The cutout pass is on, but the defence from the Raiders, absolutely top shelf. Jack Hickson, last play here for Parramatta. They go a long way back to Dargan. Onto the left boot. Up they go, and over they go.
Knock on. We're going to the 20.
But a knock-on is called. Terrell Fuimano.
He had a great leap for the footy there. He got a good catch on it there. Some pressure from Kotrick just on the outside, just forcing the ball free right at the death there. Great attacking opportunity. Just as he gets the football down there, just loses control ever so slightly. Great work, young Nick Kotrick.
Nick Kotrick earmarked as a first grader of the future. Still only a teen, but huge raps on the young man. Run here from the Raiders. Daniel Dole, this is now William Samuel. On a layer platform here for their halves, their ball players that include this man at dummy half, their skipper Wolford. Plays the short ball to Jack Williams. Takes it to ground, he's rolled over there. The Parramatta Eels slowing down the play, the ball. Flat ball there, and a good ball. Here come the Raiders. And the Eels denying them. A great tackle by Dane Akafalau. Wolford, wide, last play, kick, perfectly weighted, just perfectly. And Mason Cerudo there had a decision to make in a split second. He made the right one. Yeah, just at the death there, he knocks it over the in-goal there. Great work there. Lachlan Lewis just set that play up after almost conceding some points down the other end of the field. A really solid set of 6 to get down the other end. And a neat little kick in there behind by Lewis. Great work, more pressure on the Eels coming. The Canberra Raiders left Canberra headquarters at 5 a.m. this morning. They caught the bus up. I think they had a toilet break at Goulburn, but that was about it. Arrived here right on 2 hours before the game. They'll head back tonight. Such is the life of an under-20s player. They aren't afforded the luxuries of the first grade due to financial restraints. Foster taking it to the line, keeping the Eels' defence backpedaling. So too does Wolford. Power and points. Chevy Ellis on the right-hand side made it look so easy. Credit the setup there to Wolford. Out of dummy half very quick. They didn't have a lot of room in which to work. Yeah, great play by the Raiders there. Young Zach Wolford going down the short side, creating some space. Chevy Ellis. Quick apology here. Obviously, we've got a technical issue. We don't have an obsession with men's work boots. A little gremlin in the system. No gremlins in the system for the Raiders.
No, after that, and I think put that down to the Lachlan Lewis kick in there, forcing the repeat set. And all of a sudden, Zach Wolford goes down the short side, finds a little bit of space. He's a big body Chevy Ellis, that close to line, always hard to stop. I think Luke Burt, he will be disappointed with his left edge defence there. Needed to do a better job. But the Raiders straight into it. You talk about that short turnaround. Traditionally this season, they've been slow starters. They get first points today.
Wolford from the sideline. Not his best kick, I think it's fair to say, and even the second generation footballer has got a smile on his face. Oh, that was ugly. This wasn't. The setup a beauty from probably around mid-park. Zeke Foster, quick play the ball. Wolford ID'd. The Eels centre, in particular Akafalau, was at marker. It was his opposing centre, Chevy Ellis, that took it to the line. So a massive turnaround in the opening 6 minutes. The Eels denied a try. They had it over the line. They had it there to score. In the next set of 6, the Raiders made them pay. 4 points to nil after 6 minutes. Wolford a dummy half. Playing out to this near side. Good tackle. That's the game. Got a real ability, Zach Wolford, to engage the markers and take them out of play. Takes a couple of steps more times than not. Ball is loose. Eels have it. They wanted to get through that set. They wanted to kick deep. That is the MO of every single coach after every single point.
Yeah, Bailey Hartwell got on debut in the NYC here. Just spills that ball out. Good defence by the Eels, though.
Fuimano playing on the inside of Ceruto, and also Manu on debut here. It's the other winger. He is shining, Jermaine Matalifi. There you go. Fast ball, fast feet. And points go with it. Beautiful ball movement from the Eels. That is the type of thing that will put a massive smile on the coach's face. You practice this ad nauseum during the week and hope that it works on a weekend.
Well, it was a really similar setup to only a couple of sets before when they went out this way, and Hickson made a great little try-saving tackle on Matalifi. This time he had too much speed on the outside. He showed him some space, and he took it, and he races away and gets in the corner, gets airborne to take out that sideline there and puts the ball down, and the Eels, well, they hit straight back, and that comes on the back of that error to young Bailey Hartwig. With some solid defence by the Eels, shook the ball loose, get it in this good field position, get the speed on the outside here, get the ball early, and he made the most of it, young Matalifi.
Said earlier, Al, it's a massive day in the Holden Cup. Not only this, two very evenly matched football sides. Across the Tasman, the Warriors and the Eagles do battle, two sides that have really struggled to begin their 2016 campaign. And just up the road at Penrith a little later, the two big dogs of the competition, the Penrith Panthers and the North Queensland Cowboys, go at it. They are the two sides at this stage I'm expecting to battle out the grand final later this year. The Roosters might have something to say about that. They are the current competition leaders, and we will remain at 4-4 after 9 minutes. Both tries have gone unconverted. And a case of whatever you can do, we can do better seems to be what's happening out there at the moment.
And both sides still trying to keep their spot in the top 8 there. I know it's only early in the season still, but we are a quarter of the way through round 6 here at the moment, so the season does get away on you. You just want to, get as many wins as you can early on that season, stay in the contest there, and both teams trying to fight their way in to stay in that top 8.
Tom Amone hasn't. He got some power, and isn't he able to generate it in a very short amount of time, and meterage rocketing back into the line. He was met front on by Daniel Dole. A good collision. Again, the movement around the ball from the Eels is nice and snappy to begin this game, as it should be. They're coming off a bashing. The hands of the Panthers. It was 42-4 on this patch of grass. Sunday afternoon. This has been touched. Back in, but the flag is up.
Guy's taking it out. So we've got a Canberra feed.
Canberra scrum feed here.
I think Matalevy could have almost left that go in. It was touch the call from the referee there. If they had gone in to touch, it would have been their scrum feed. He had a play at the footy, and Hickson bundled him in to touch there.
Good call.
Just, you can see a half little opportunity. Great work by Hickson. Some desperation there to force him into touch, and the Raiders, well, they dodge a bit of a bullet there.
Speaking about this patch of grass, massive rap to the groundsman here at Pertex Stadium. This joint looks like a billiard table. It is fabulous. And in the beautiful sunshine here in Sydney on this Saturday morning. Looks set for a cracking day of footy.
In the Intrust Super Premiership as well, 1v2.
Yeah.
And then both the NRL sides. Parramatta, heartbreak loss there last week against the Panthers, but playing some great football, and the Raiders are coming off a huge win over the Doggies at Belmore on Monday night.
A couple of nice sub-stories in the main game. Of course, Junior Paulo, should I say, heading to the Raiders next year. The Parramatta front rower, Ricky Stewart, a former coach here. Quite sure the Eels supporters will say hello to Ricky as he walks in and walks out of Para Stadium. Set there, very sensible set, if you could use that term, from the Raiders. Travelling upfield, Akafalau and through. Ridiculous metres for the left centre. The best part of 30, had 4 on him for most of the journey. This is Stowers. Quick play the ball back to Price, off to Madison. Fuimano, a super young talent. Last tackle, Madison.
Good.
Grubber here for Cerudo, and a little bit of pressure at the back. Good defence from the Parramatta Eels. Equally as good was the take at the back from Thomas Cronin. No thought of self-preservation there, because he was in quite the spot with a couple of beasts bearing down on him.
And Fuimano just doing a little bit too much in the tackle there. They'd be disappointed, because that was a fantastic set there. Great kick in behind. Thomas Cronin's done well to get the football and stay in the field of play, not forcing another set of 6, and then to give away that cheap penalty. The Raiders get a gifted 20 metres and a couple more tackles up their sleeve now.
Our ref here is Tim Roby. Our assistant is Drew Altram. It's their first match as a combination. And you can hear their communication pretty clearly on the field at the moment. And working well, the refs in the opening 13.
Held it.
Did well to hold on to that, did Jack Williams. Ball stripped late. Silly mistake there from Parramatta, mid-count. Not only do you gift a free 25 metres from the boot of Wolford, another set.
Well, a couple of big errors there, Annie, from the Eels now, in some great field position. They took no time in kicking for touch there, trying to keep the pressure on the Eels.
Foster with the short offload to Danny Dole. Wolford wide ball to Lewis. Playing short to Jared Toot. Wrapped up nicely by Cerudo Madison and also Craig Field. Wolford again is your dummy half. This is now Samuel. Bumps off the first contact from Tom Amone, his opposing front rower. They're inside the go zone, the 10 metres. Williams, an option there at first receiver. Cronin on the wing. And the grounding is fine. The referees are good, and the fullback has scored. A real trick shot from the Raiders there. We'll explain it as we look at the replay. That is the winger at first receiver, Trey Williams.
It looks like the Raiders have had a setup here that Thomas Cronin in defence is actually playing at fullback, and then shifting there in attack. Trey Williams is coming up. He can play in the halves. He can shift about. Cronin switches to the wing there and scores in the corner. Just come back last week from an ankle injury. Came into the fullback position there, so some tactics by Brett White.
Sorry, let me just say this once to revive the memories of many. Cronin scores at Parramatta. Oh, hasn't that got a ring to it?
Fantastic.
I wonder if Mighty Mick is here a little later watching his boys do their thing against Canberra. There's the Michael Cronin stand on the eastern side of Parramatta Stadium. Zach Wolford, a smile on the face because he knows this kick, as bad as it may be, couldn't be any worse than his last. It's a beauty from the sideline and the flags are up. Zach Wolford adds the extras. It is the Raiders 10. The Eels 4 after 15 and a bit.
Yeah, and just some ill discipline there from the Eels. Really gifted them that opportunity.
Did you just say ill discipline or ill?
I like it. He's on fire today.
Time
A couple of penalties though. Fuimano, and then out on the other edge as well, Akafalau, just giving away some penalties and getting them down that field. The Raiders make them pay with the points there. Great kick from the sideline.
These are the elite youngsters in the land, in the world, in fact, in under 20s, but age football, any mistake, any penalty, any repeat set in any brand of age football or age sport is going to really hurt the defenders more so than in the top grade. Wolford, good bust and a good offload. Smooth stuff in this set from the Raiders. Backing up beautifully there was Bailey Hartwig on debut, the lock forward in 18. Given his opportunity by Brett White, the Canberra coach, who along with Luke Bird is in his first year of NYC coach. And a big happy birthday to Brett White. Birthday yesterday. Says he was 34, looks 44. I hope he doesn't hear that before I'm able to get out of here.
He's doing well though in his first coaching year. I think you know, the hard edge that he's put to the side. There's been a few games that I think he's actually the side probably shouldn't have won, but they've found a way to win it, so they're going really well. But some ball movement here from the Eels.
Good ball movement here from the Eels, and Michael Doolan got up to the 20-metre line. A very slow play the ball. It goes out to Dargan, a little wider to Madison. He challenges the line. Doesn't have the support there, but has 4 green jerseys around him. Still numbers on this side of the field. If they choose to come this way, they go the other side to Dargan. Last play, the kicker's got too much on it, and Dargan knew that from the moment he struck it.
Well, he did all the hard work. He brought the Raiders' defence up the way he took the ball to the line, showing like he had a passing option there. He brought all of them up, put it in behind, plenty of space. Just the wrong execution there.
And you think perhaps that Brett White and his reputation as a player and a genuine tough guy may well scare the you-know-what out of these youngsters in the under-20s, and when he says do something, they do it with a hop, skip and a jump?
Yeah, I totally agree. And Brett White is a really professional guy, the way he goes about his business right throughout his playing career and the years that I played alongside him. And he's doing that again with his side. It's transferring in his coaching, the way that they're going about their business. Like I said, I think there's a few games of the Raiders. They've been behind. Doesn't look like they should have won, but they've just toughed it out. His coaching shining through with his team.
Jim intrigued by this battle on that far side between the centres, and advantage here to the Eels between that man, Chevy Ellis, and also Dane Akafalau. 2 big, talented units. And when we say big, huge for the centres and huge for 19, 20 years of age. Both have got amazing ball skill as well, but they're dynamic footballers, and they're going head-to-head on that far side of the field in this opening 40 minutes.
Yeah, Jack Williams alongside Chevy Ellis out there, so there's plenty of power and plenty of skill. The Raiders trying to give some early ball to that right-hand side, so a great battle going on.
The Eels once again, Fuimano wearing jersey number 3. He's playing as the right back rower for Luke Burt. Changing around a little bit on this first interchange. From the field, Jamie Stowers has come. And Kurt DeLuey in 15 has come onto the field.
Don't go back to the ball there.
Again, the movement playing right to left, just beautiful for the Eels. Akafalau taken to the ground. Last play here for Parramatta. Dargan, the left boot, just a little too deep, but pressure nonetheless. A little juggle at the back from Cronin, but he did, again, exceptionally well.
And he was into the sun there too. You could see he put his hand up there. He's not only battling the pressure of the defenders coming through, the chasers coming through, but also the sun. So he's done well on a couple of occasions there. Cronin in the backfield. Plenty of work. Better kick from Dargan.
Hold here, wait! Go.
No, we need you quicker.
I think the team doctors may be out a little later as the afternoon progresses to determine if drinks breaks are going to be required, because it's a stinker here at Parramatta. Good deep kick from Zach Wolford. Taken on the bounce there from Kalipi Manu. This young man on debut. We hope he's enjoying his day. And the family are as well. A big moment. Playing at Parramatta Stadium on debut in the 20s. Family and friends should be super proud. Driven back there. Matt Alifi. Manu, the wingers doing their thing. Penalty here to the Eels.
Yeah, and the way Manu got twisted back, I was worried about his ankle there, but he's got up and just in the backfield there, having a little bit of trouble, but they get a much-needed penalty here. They look good with the ball in hand. They look fast and sharp. Doolan chiming in the back line there, the fullback. He can play six as well, one of the Cabramatta juniors, and he looks sharp. If he can get some early ball to their centres, and on the outside, they're big, they're powerful. They look the goods. They've just got to control possession, and their opportunities will come.
I'm a Jack Morris fan. This is him with the footy. Good start to his afternoon. Looking for runners back on the inside. They this time are used as decoys. They come to Mason Ceruto out of the hands of Doolan. Parramatta looking to level. They trail by a converted try. Ceruto very slow to his feet from Doolan. It goes to Fuimanu. Out to the lock forward. 5/8 combining into the hands of front rower Ramon. So now options on both sides of the park. Little grubber through. Oh, it was well weighted.
Touched.
The Raiders did get a touch. It will be a dropout. And a pivotal moment, perhaps. Did they have to play at it? And if they did, it was not because the kick was a good one, it was because the chase was a beauty.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to let it have another go at hitting the ground there, Thomas Cronin, but he didn't want to take... And he took caution there and just batted it over the in-goal there.
I think he's made the right choice there.
I think so too, with that chase, as you spoke about. That was fantastic. I thought off the kick to start off there, it might have been too much, but it just held up and the chasers went really, really well. Some more pressure for the Raiders here. Big set, charging.
Oh, there's a shot!
Wow!
Front rower on front rower. Daniel Dole on Tom Amone. This is a beauty.
This will be your set, Joe. I'll hold the scrum.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, they are. Oh, yeah, that hurt. No wonder it hurt. Look at this. Bam.
Oh, contact.
That's a good way to start 11 and a half hours of live rugby league. If that's not going to get you interested and sit you back in your lounge chair, I don't know what will. Two teenagers going berserk on each other in the most legal of way.
Tom Amone came screaming onto that ball, and Daniel Dole threw everything he could at him. Come up with a little sore shoulder, but you can see why. But what great contact.
Sore shoulder. I'm surprised it's still attached to the rest of his body. And I cannot wait for the get square, because front rowers, they've got long memories. And there will be a chance at some stage for Tom Amone to line up Daniel Dole and say, here's your receipt. Penalty here for the Raiders. Wolford with the quick tap. This is Dole. Good tackle down low. A beauty from Craigfield. A tackle that also needed to be made. He enlisted the assistance of Price. Out wide it goes to Williams at the back through the hands of Lewis. Poor communication there from the Raiders. That's Amone chasing up and putting a shot on. He does that. And Jordan Iono Fatu. Knock on here. Tom Amone with the big tackle, the tackle previous. Just rattled the Raiders a little bit.
Yeah, there's plenty of feeling, isn't there, from both sides here. The defence really starting to stiffen up. There's plenty of whack in both sides, and this time a little bit of miscommunication there. It just didn't look like Lachlan Lewis was on the mark there, and the pass just too far out in front. An error there. They were building nicely to the Raiders. A missed opportunity.
We don't see, as a generalisation, the big shots and the consistent big shots defensively in under-20s football. Maybe that'll change today. Parramatta dodging a back-to-back bullet, if you like, there. They have control of the football. The Raiders are very much short in their line. Defensively, they're going to make Parramatta work very hard to get through the middle, or they're going to have to go around the outside. Canberra, in fact, lucky not to be penalised for being offside that last play, and again, tested. Amone gets out of the first one, gets dragged to the ground on the second by the much smaller Lewis. Last tackle for Parra. Madison pumps it over the top. Play on is the call here. Good chase from the Parramatta Eels.
I'll take the job.
And again, a great chase has very much covered up what you would term a poor kick. Pressure on Cronin at the back. The Eels get another chance.
Yeah, Cronin was just trying to get that football in the in goal there to get a 20-metre restart. He just left the field of play and caught the ball in goal, but his feet left the field of play here. That was crucial. They force him back into the in goal. Another set of 6 here. The short turnaround for the Raiders too.
Kick it to Tom Amone.
Here we go. Well, everybody's got their eyes. Here it comes. It's coming down to him.
Yep, it is coming straight down to him. He winds it up. He's looking for Daniel Dole and he avoids him, but he collects someone else. He collects this time Iono Fatu. This is the 15, Kurt DeLuey. Daniel Dole just off the field, now walking down the sideline. Getting pats on the back from the Raiders bench. Good ball playing from the front row on the field. Fuimano looking for a hole in the left-hand side defensive line. Doolan is over the line and is then bullied back into the field of play. Last play from Parramatta. Fuimano, a dummy half. Thought about having a crack himself, decided against it. They go wide to the left boot of Dargan. And again, the Parramatta Eels showing a real composure on the last play, a real professionalism in their execution, and they are going to get another repeat set.
Yeah, another pinpoint kick from Dargan here across field. Hickson does well, turns and chases and just gets back there to force back into the in goal, but it's just, this can pay dividends for them if they can hold on to this and build pressure through it. Raiders with a short turnaround are lacking a little bit of energy.
7 sides so far this year have won 3 games in the under-20s. The latter changes substantially, not just after every round, literally after every game. As a result, this is crucial, the result here, because both these two sides are 3-win, 2-loss coming into this game. Dargan playing back on the inside. Morris, driven to ground, right on the 20, centre field. Going to go to Kurt DeLuey, out the back to Doolan. Fuimano. That is a great one-on-one tackle. Again from Lachlan Lewis, who has, it seems, the job of containing Terrell this afternoon. Ball through the hands, all a little slow on what was the 5th play. This is the final. Again, they go to the left boot of the halfback, who dummied to kick not once, not twice, lunged at the line and was taken to the ground by Jack Williams in some wonderful desperation from the Raiders.
Yeah, not a bad place to end your sets there, and they forced an error there from the Raiders. Chevy Ellis coming out and the Parramatta Eels coming across, giving it to him there. But all that pressure and the fatigue levels there, and all of a sudden a lack of concentration. As you can see, Dargan takes on the line. He was ever so close there. Chevy Ellis in there.
Yeah,
Jack Williams doing his work. They all came in.
I credited Williams with that tackle, but it was just as much, probably, if not more, Ellis, who unfortunately then backed it up with a blue. Completion rates, Raiders just 64%. That's going to hurt at some stage. But that's not now. And that's not a try. That's a Shepherd and probably a forward pass thrown in there. And that is a blunder, a massive one for the Eels. They are a lot better than this.
And they've done all that hard work of forcing the repeat sets. They had them on the racks there. They look sharp on their edges when they play at speed. But the obstruction rule is now the Raiders. This is a really important set for them. They need a good solid set, a good kick. I dare say they'll be looking for touch to slow it down because they're really struggling. The energy levels, short turnaround. Had to do a heap of work off their own end.
Short turnaround, an early start. They left at 5 this morning, so some of these guys would have been up pre-4 o'clock. Long day, even if you did get a little kip in on the bus. Completion rates. Parramatta 11 from 14. We're looking at the number just a moment ago. Canberra 10 from 15. Most of the stats are pretty similar. The one that matters most is the scoreboard.
Tackle 1, 2 balls on the field.
2 balls on the field. Opportunity for Parra to regroup defensively here, and there's a big hole behind the ruck here for Parramatta. Wolford saw that and just engaged the marker there. Opportunity for his runners, and here is the try that goes with it. Jordan Ioanu-Fatu. I am not sure what Parramatta was lacking there. It may well have just been communication or a vision defensively, but if we could spot the holes right behind the ruck from up here, surely they should have been able to adjust it down there.
I have no doubt that Luke Burt would have spoken to his side throughout the week about the dangers of Wolford in and around the ruck there, to be tight around those defenders close into the play the ball. And great work from young Zach Wolford. He sees a half opportunity, gets out a dummy half, finds Ioanu-Fatu there charging onto the ball. Got a bit of work to do, gets around the fullback in Doolan there, too easy in the end. All of that pressure down the other end of the field, all those repeat sets of 6 that they had on the Raiders, they're defensively, they held strong. They got an opportunity with that obstruction to get down the other end of the field, and then they convert that into points. They hung tough. They've done the hard work. The points have come on the back of it. Disappointing defence, though, from the Parramatta Eels.
Very average defence from the Blue and Golds. An easy kick here for Wolford, who is at 50% so far this afternoon. Parramatta on this right-hand side of the field, our near side, have been denied legally by the officials twice. In the set following that, Canberra have scored both times. (14-4), looking to make it 16-4. And no issues there. 2 converted tries, the difference. And a massive 6.5 minutes for the home side here. Good try from young Jordan.
Coming off the bench, he's got great speed.
Stay on, stay on.
Most first half points already that Parramatta have conceded this year. And there's still time for a couple more tries. It is 20s football and anything is possible.
Spoken a lot about the Parramatta Eels and the injuries that they have got to some key players at the moment. Kalani going, who we saw just before kickoff as well in a moon boot there. He's got some problems with his foot. It looks like he's going to be out for 3 months, which is a huge loss. We heard Brett White say he's the real spiritual leader of the forward pack there, probably alongside Daniel Dole. So that's a huge loss for them. And Connor Cheeseman as well, who's out for around 3 months as well with a hand injury. So both sides battling some key players.
A wrist tendon injury. That's an awkward one for Connor Cheeseman. I had a chat to Kalani going before the game. Just what a sweetheart of a young bloke he is. Oh, Parramatta, a desperate play, and have taken the ball out. Or is the ball off the boot of the Raiders? They are calling para scrum. I'm not sure of the idea behind even having a crack at this.
I don't know whether he was unsure whether it was actually... The ball's already out there, hang about. We've got some push and shove here too. There's plenty going on in the background.
And right in the middle of it, Zach Orford.
What have you got, Todd?
Second generation footballer, second generation sledger, and equally as competent in both areas.
Come here. 6. 6 as well. Yes, mate.
It's actually Trey Williams into it.
Boys, this come from nothing. We've got a scrum. Don't continue that rubbish, all right? Get in the scrum.
Well, we've given Zach a bad rap there. He was coming in to play peacemaker.
Blow time on when you're ready, Drew.
It was little Trey Williams. If he was going to have a fight, it would be in the bantamweight division. There's not much of him.
But you're right, Kalepi Manu, he didn't need to play at the ball. I think he might have thought it was a 40-20 there. That would be your only thought process behind doing that, putting himself and his side under plenty of pressure.
Either way, Parramatta getting the scrum feed here is going to be the right call. I think actually the linesman may have made a blunder there. I don't think the ball was out. I don't think the Eels were out. And not having a crack at the linesman because from a distance and in the heat of the moment, none of us get them all right as the ball comes free. Good defence from the Canberra Raiders. They look to spin it immediately to this left-hand side. Wolford into dummy half. Williams was an option on the near side. They go to Lewis. Coming in the different line as Stanley Takalua. He's as wide as he is tall, Stanley. Laying out the back and a drop ball here from the Raiders. A scrappy, average, punctuated couple of minutes since the last try from both football sides.
Yeah, and Chevy Ellis, he's disappointed in himself. He came with a crucial error down the other end of the field. The short ball, there was plenty of defence in around him. He should have caught that ball there. And an error coming up there. It was all on the back too. Jesse Martin was a good shot there before that forced the ball free. Some really strong defence. And you can see the errors there, even for both sides, 4 apiece. But where you're making the errors on the area of the football field is so crucial.
If you're going to make a blue, you make it down this end if you're the Raiders, don't you? Make Parramatta roll up the sleeves and do the hard work, and they look to do that. Good offload there from Fuimano. Goes back to the fullback in Doolin. Fuimano, second possession of this set. Good boy involving himself here out to Madison. Ceruto. Kalipi Manu. Young man on debut on his outside on this right-hand side. Decided against going to him. Play on as the call here. Kurt DeLuey taken to the ground on the last play. Go out the back and into the air from Troy Dargan. And an in-between kick to the fullback Thomas Cronin. I was trying to think how to aptly describe it, and an in-between is probably about it.
Yeah, Dargan, he's had a bit of a mixed bag with his kicking game.
Can't work him over again.
His defence, or his kick chase team has helped him out on a couple of occasions, and then he's had some really, really neat kicks. But this is what's been hurting him, giving away some penalties down this end of the field, as we're going to see Jordan Iono Fatu there leave the field from concussion there. You could see he bounced out of a tackle.
6-2, the penalties, Al, in favour of the Raiders. And when you're on your heels so much, it's going to really fatigue you and hurt you. There in our replay box, the incident lending... The incident, should I say, pointing towards Canberra Raiders player going from the field. And again, awkward play and silly play from the Eels. Once you're on the ground, you can't be lifted up or dragged away.
He just grabbed old Jack Hickson and threw him over the sideline there. There was a great little ball here from Jack Williams. Look at this for a flick pass out the back there. He did well to reel the football back in. Hickson, he's on the ground, and then just, here we go, the old heave-ho over the sideline. You can't do that. Penalty. The Raiders on the attack still.
What a big set of 6 this is. They probably won't get through the entire 6. They want to get to the line in the shadows of half-time. Nick Kotrick coming in to involve himself. Bumps off one. Couldn't get through the second. A good tackle down low. Again, they operate the short side, looking for numbers and finding them. Jack Hickson crosses with just 16 seconds left in the half. Great hands from the Canberra Raiders. Oh, what a slap in the face that is for Parramatta.
Yeah, the huge penalty on the outside, but you talked about that ball movement just before half-time there. Williams, Ellis involved, and Hickson finishes it off. Some great work there down that short side on the right-hand side. Wolford sees a half opportunity as one of the markers going back there late. He takes him on down the outside. Hickson finishes it off in the corner. And the penalties and the Eel discipline without the football have hurt the Parramatta Eels in this first half.
It's some silly stuff from the home side, and Canberra looking very good at times. They've now had more of the football, better field position.
He's loving kicking the footy today, the young Zach Wolford. He's got a smile on his face.
They're giving it to him. What about the fans? There's only a couple of them over there, but they've let rip on Zach Wolford, who's enjoying the banter, no doubt. 40 minutes down, 4 tries to 1. It is the Canberra Raiders over the Parramatta Eels, 20 points to 4. 20 points to 4. A lot of work to do for the Parramatta Eels, the home side. Lost last week to Penrith, and are in danger of going back-to-back if the performance from that first half is any indication. And a lost ball here from the Raiders. Tackle number 1, Sione Afamui. Oh, wouldn't he feel horrible?
He was charging the ball back too, Sione was. He ran in, met with some solid defence and just getting up to play the ball that comes free there. Not the start the Raiders were after, but a perfect opportunity for the Parramatta Eels. No doubt their ill discipline would have been spoken about at half-time. Good opportunity to score first points.
Fuimano on the right-hand side gets the ball free. Now they come back to the left, Parramatta. Just keeping the Raiders defenders moving into the line. Doolan. Good shot down low over the top. Came Williams. And through the hands this time, Jack Morris and Dargan and Madison. Also there, Ceruto. Looking to pop the ball free. Was unable to find Kalipi Manu. Back to Madison and now on to DeLuey. Canberra defence holding strong here and really haven't been tested. A lot of ball movement from the Eels. This is what they've been setting up for, and they go to the big number 4. And Akafalau was belted.
Yes, mate. Thank you.
High energy from the Raiders when it mattered most.
Yeah, their defence on the try line has been fantastic, and this time probably just playing with a little bit too much depth at times there. Dargan's probably the best when he takes it right to the line to ask a few more questions, but the errors there. Disappointing, a drop there. Akafalau building nicely, looking to convert it into some points, get some early points after that error from the Raiders.
And the short side here from Wolford to Ellis. The Canberra Raiders in under-20s football have beaten the Parramatta Eels 4 times from 4 games here at Pertex Stadium. And the ball has come free again. So I say this respectfully to the young men out in the middle of the field, but the first half ended very poorly from both sides. And the second half has started in much the same manner. Here go the Eels. Out to Manu, getting dangerously close to the sideline. I don't know how he hasn't gone over there. He's done extremely well. Long ball to Madison. He finds Dargan, the halfback at second receiver. Plays out the back to Doolan. Akafalau had to try and brush off Ellis. Brushed past him, but couldn't get through him. Doolan now operating short side. Looking for the penalty and finds it. Some smart footy from Mick Doolan there. He saw the defender, wasn't back the 10 and gave the defender no alternative but to make the play. Here is Jack Morris. Straight and hard, and perhaps that's what Parramatta needs a little more of. Just some straight running. They look to a moan. He looks to the line. And the wrestle wasn't complete yet. Price plays out wide to Madison. Fuimanu.
Leave the ball.
Tackled nicely down low by Jesse Martin. Madison and Dargan. Back to Doolan. Doolan almost popped his head through there. Tackle number 4. We saw him ball playing earlier in the set. This time Morris plays the runner. The referee's calling him held maybe a little prematurely there because they were still wrestling for every bit of it. Was touched from the Raiders. Back. And great work from Cronin in his own in goal. It was a good chase from the Eels. And the Raiders have made it now out to the 30-metre line with nothing more than commitment and passion.
Some of the outside backs here getting heavily involved. Kotrick as well. That was great work by Cronin. He was aiming for the goalpost there, Dargan, and ricocheted off it. Just missed it as it came off a Raiders player's legs as well. Cronin on the mark there and upfield quite easily now going forward.
Luke Bird knew it was going to be a massive test for his Eels this afternoon. No Alex Twal, no Bevan French, and no Denzel Tenise. His 3 best players all out with probably 3 or 4 week injuries. Certainly no excuse. As we look at the Raiders injured list, there's my man, Kalani going. And he is gone for about 3 months. Horrible injury in a moon boot, undergoes surgery this Tuesday. Wanted to have the surgery done in the last couple of days, but the swelling's still just too severe for the surgeons to go in. Right on halfway. The 3 leaders of this Parramatta side all sidelined. So who is going to put their hand up and take control here? And the 2 most obvious players are their 2 leaders. I speak of Tyrell Fuimano and also Troy Dargan. They go to Dargan on the near side. Runs a long way before encountering the defenders and then links up on his outside to Morris. Morris taken to the ground, final play. Back to the number 7 in Dargan. Across field. And try is going to be awarded here. The refs have said knock back. I just finished saying the 2 guys that had to put their hand up were Troy Dargan and also Terrell Fuimano. Both played a key role there, but it was Mason Ceruto, I think, that ended up collecting the points.
Yeah, it was a great crossfield kick by your man Dargan there. He puts it right on the dime there as he kicks it across field. A great leaper was called, knocked back by the referee. Ceruto on the mark there to get the ball. Comes off Kotrick as well. He was involved. Play-on's a call. Ceruto's on the mark, but it was all from that crossfield kick there. Pinpoint accuracy, much needed for the Eels to get first points in this second half.
Mason started the year with the Eels. A couple of errors in his game that the coaches wanted to try and work on and eliminate. That'll put a smile on young Mason's face and also his coach, Luke Bird. They needed to be first to score. It is a horrible old cliche that we try to avoid, but what other way do you say it? If the Raiders had been first to score this half, they would have potentially run away with this. The goal kick successful, and we are now a 10-point game still with plenty of football remaining.
And the kick from Trey Williams just at the other end of the field just went dead. It was a 7-tackle set. So a great opportunity for them to have another play up their sleeve to get down the other end of the field, and it came on that last play there, how important it is. Nick Kotrick out wide. There's a huge battle going on between the centre pairing on both sides of the field. The Eels trying to give some early ball to their edge men. Kotrick and Ellis doing a wonderful job. They had to revert to going to the air, kicking across field. Come up trumps on this occasion.
There's some para power. Good run. Tomamo. Launching himself into the defensive line. Oh, and slow to his feet, Kalepi Manu. Oh, that pass may have been forward, flat at best. Called okay to DeLuey, to Dargan. This is Morris. And already over halfway, just play three. Dargan saw something, but then ran out of room and had to put on the brakes. They go back to Doolan. He's popped one high. A real tester for Cronin here. And penalty or not? Well, yes, it should have been a penalty.
I think so too. I think he wasn't going for the football. He sort of had his eyes turned, but he was always content on making it.
I think I heard the ref say he's still got the football, so I'm not going to blow the penalty. Thomas Cronin, the fullback, is down though. Oh, there's claret everywhere over his left shoulder.
Okay, we give what we see, mate, and I haven't seen that. Okay.
I'm not sure what collided with Field, who came through. He didn't have eyes for the football, but he's put his hands up there to look like he was trying to catch, and whether he's collided with his elbow, it was accidental.
And rule number one, if you've got blood on the face, you've got to get up and get as close to the cameras as you possibly can before the trainer gets out there with the towel to clean you up.
This is Kotrick carrying the football here.
Yeah, it was good, strong defence. Good, strong defence on the Eels, by the Eels on Kotrick, as the work on young Thomas Cronin, who's had a very good game under pressure, continues.
I was just about to mention that. In the backfield, he's been fantastic. Oh, just the shot there. I think it was Fuimano there who collected his head there, and he's gone down with some blood there. Just comes across the shoulder there, so I have to look at it, but he's been fantastic. He's done some really good work in the backfield, and he switches with Trey Williams as well in that combination. Defensively, he plays fullback. In attack, he slips out to the wing. He's only just come back from an ankle injury. He might be on his way to get a bit of a few stitches at the end of the game as well.
Sorrell watching on as Thomas gets cleaned up as best he can at the moment.
Number 4. Let's bring it over and get set. So when
you're not allowed to continue on with a bloody jersey, are you, in this day and age? So irrespective, he's going to have to either go off or go out the back and get the jersey cleaned up. The play on for Thomas Cronin, good on him. Good rest there for both sides. Who was able to make the most of that. Wolford playing short, doing nicely to Martin, who got through the initial line, was then pegged. Up quickly on Lewis was Madison. Rush pass, it was forced there. This is Kotrick, proving more than a handful. The try scorer at last, Ceruto, takes him to the ground. Again, a rushed kick from the Raiders, and that is due to an increased pressure, desperation from the Eels. They were faster defensively.
Bit of a loose ball out the back there as well from Lewis, some pressure coming up on him. I want to see more of Nick Kotrick with the ball in hand in good field position. He does a lot of work coming out of his own end. Yes, he is a handful. We just don't get to see him enough in good field position to do his thing.
Numbers here for Parramatta, 4 on 2, and they went the cutout ball, which probably wasn't on. Fuimano got it back on the inside. They still make the metres, but probably not the impact they could have. Madison, he'll look for Dargan and finds him. Doolan, 2 on 1, 3 on 2, and there's 4 points. However you do the maths, Parramatta have scored. That looked really easy. Dane Akafalau is about 6'3" and 102 kilos, and it opened up right in front of him.
Yeah, it did look too easy in the end, but it was a beautiful set piece of play here from the Parramatta Eels. Everybody did their job well. They took the ball to the line. They brought the defence up. They played out the back. Their shape was great. They created the numbers eventually on the end. Chevy Ellis had to make a call. Do I come in? Do I stay out? Hickson probably should have followed him in. He didn't. And on the mark there, Dane Akafalau, who's had a huge battle out wide with Ellis, gets the 4-pointer.
He got beaten a couple of times earlier. Chevy Ellis, Jack Hickson, both scored tries on his side of the field. There's a little bit of revenge. Dargan from out wide. That right hamstring very heavily taped. He's a left footer, so not an easy one. Appears he's starting this at the left-hand upright, unless I'm cross-eyed. That's where he started, but it's been pushed straight across the face. A converted try is the difference. 2014, a long way to go in this one, a lot more points. But Parramatta have scored back-to-back here and given themselves a chance.
Yeah, well, you talked about Troy Dargan and you wanted him to get heavily involved. He has. He's really chimed in this second half. Coming down the short side, some concerns there with some strapping around his hamstring, so that hopefully doesn't restrict him. And Thomas Cronin seems to be okay. And back in the action after he's taped up as well with that cut to the head.
Don't lock him in 5.
Here's the try scorer. Akafalau, almost up to the 40. Really effective metres from Parramatta. There's a lot of sideways stuff in their game when they're not confident. When they are confident, it's really simple. It's straight, it's fast, it's hard and effective. Tackle 4, almost at the 30. And they've done nothing huge. Ball's good from Akafalau. Out to Matalifi. Oh, they were going to get called there. This is now the last play. Go for points or continue the pressure. Fuimano went to the boot. Maybe he wishes he hadn't. It was a poor kick and it was easily pegged by young Trey Williams on that left wing.
And he was only just stopped at the death there too, Trey Williams. It would have been danger signs. He's got plenty of speed and just held on to, but the kick just wasn't good enough there. Dargan needed to get involved there and get his hands on the football late in the play. Their great kicking game.
Raiders now ripping through the middle of this Parramatta line, and that has been their focus point for much of this 55 minutes. They've found a real weakness of Parramatta behind the ruck. Last play here. Short side. Very good kick and a test at the back for Doolan. Gets around the chasing team. Then bumps off one. Goes a little wide. Finds his winger in Jermaine Matalifi. He's heading centre field and back into the danger zone. Parramatta somehow end up 25 metres from their own line.
That was a really disappointing kick chase there from the Raiders. That was really good work by Zach Wolford off his left foot as well, going down. And he chased down hard there, but all the right-hand side defence from the Raiders didn't follow him there. Some easy metres out, and you can see now over the halfway line.
Yeah, he didn't get any help there, Zach Wolford, from his chasing side. As Parramatta play out the back, and again, they have the numbers. Wolford had no choice but to jump up on Big Dane Akafalau. Playing a bit of footy before the line as Jack Morris tackled on the 30, last play. They go to Dargan and he goes to the air. Williams is the target, and Williams is beautiful in the air. Watch this young bloke. Great feet. There's not a whole lot of him, but he's very difficult to bring down. Neil's defensive line have just found that out.
And plenty of speed there, but I'm just looking at the Raiders' body language here. It has changed dramatically in this last 5 or 10 minutes. They're out on their feet. Some of the backfield players now coming in, trying to shoulder a bit of the load. But that short turnaround, a couple of tough bus trips up the highway there, might be just starting to take its toll, and the Eels just starting to dominate a little bit of possession.
Inside the 40, almost a 40-20, not a whole lot into it. Doolan brings it back towards the 40-metre line. You talk about the travel, and you look at the Raiders last week or two. You look at Parramatta's last couple of weeks, they've travelled combined 8.4 kilometres. They played here and just down the road at Homebush. There was a forward pass there, I've got no doubt about that. It wasn't picked up. Parramatta then get the penalty after a couple of tackles. The momentum very much shifting here as the Raiders remain on their heels.
Yeah, and you can see the energy levels. They're so far down here from the Raiders. They're just hanging on, and this is the pass you're talking about. It's only half a metre forward. They didn't pick that up, and then Daniel Dole too much in the tackle there. More pressure on their own try line.
Tackled on the 20. Oh, awkward at the ruck there. Best way to describe it. Dargan out the back to Doolan. Akafalau moves into dummy half. Offload to Tuiolapau. Still going as little Tui, the number 14 off the bench. Price. Forwards combining here through the middle and denied by the barest of margins, Craig Field. Out to Dargan. Go wide here to the big left centre in Akafalau. Last tackle. And straight through the middle goes the fullback, Michael Doolan. He looked right, there was nothing on. There was confusion left. He said, well, bugger the lot of you, I'm going myself. And that he did.
Well, it was Dargan who actually, the deception of his play to come around to that short side, and you see all the Raiders, their vision just all shifted to Dargan. Doolan was there, the space open, it parted easily for him. I'll take the easy option, bundles over there, but it's been on the back of the possession. The energy levels from the Raiders, it is way down, lack of concentration. All of a sudden the Eels, they're right back in it. We could be locked up.
Raiders haven't this year conceded more than one try in the 20 minutes after half-time. That's now 3, and we could well be locked up at 20 after this kick from Troy Dargan.
Similar position to where Akafalau scored only moments before, so no doubt adjust a bit of his kick. He went too far to the right there, but it is an important conversion. But 3 quick tries in quick concession straight after halftime.
Big 2 points here for Dargan. Unsuccessful. Hasn't had a day he'd like to remember with the boot, and the boot is the difference today. Wolford 2 from 4, Dargan 1 from 4. As a result, we have a 2-point game. Raiders 20, Eels 18.
Time, boys.
20 minutes to go, so there's plenty of football to be played, and that's the worrying signs for Coach Brett White there is the energy levels with so much football to play, and all of the energy, all of the momentum at the moment is with the Parramatta side.
He can play Jack Morris, can't he? Rips in. There's the Eels' last 3 try scorers or point scorers, 47th, 52nd and 59th minute. Tackle 2 just a couple metres short of halfway already. Plays a very different role, this big fella, Kurt DeLuey. First receiving big man ball player. Great option. Wimano out wide to Ceruto, forced to come back in from the sideline. He was heading over into the Mick Cronin stand. Last tackle here. They come back to Madison, back further to Dargan. Kick again for Cronin. Takes it very, very comfortably. Thomas Cronin at the back, bandaged up and playing on. Oh, he juggled the ball there, getting to his feet. That would have been quite the decision for the referee. Was it going to be a loss or a strip?
It's a really important set of 6 for the Raiders here. Coming out of their own end. They haven't got too much shape around their play. They're just playing one off the deck there. Their outside men, Kotrick, Ellis, Hickson, all getting involved. The fatigue levels of the big men really setting in.
Leave the ball, 15. Square.
In the final quarter of the game, Wolford looking to milk a penalty there. Good pass from the inside from Samuel. And it's average from the Raiders. Fuimano over halfway on the 0. Strong stuff from Parramatta. They have scored the last 3, yet they still trail. Behind by 16 at half-time. A good reward there for DeLuey. Wolford injured, down on his haunches. Dummy to the line from Price. He had Doolan on his outside and has been injured in the play. Dargan with the kick and far too much on it.
Yours on the 30,
Third tackle. He's had just a little too much on most of his ground kicks this afternoon.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, hasn't it? Mixed bag from Dargan there. Some are too long and some of his kicks have been absolutely beautiful. Some real injury concerns there too. Zach Wolford only just coming back into the line. Parramatta Eels a missed opportunity and early in the tackle count. If you make that play, you've got to come up with the right decision.
If you are going to take the gamble and play against the percentages, you've got to make it work.
11's good.
At very worst, you could have just hammered the Raiders' defensive line with 2 more big men and worn them down that little bit extra. Early in the count here, out to Chevy Ellis. Flings it back infield to Jack Hickson, who in turn finds Samuel. Short side again. And a very sensible play, Zeke Foster. Inexperienced, but showed some real smarts there. The Raiders need to slow this game down. They need to get their breath back.
I've just seen a couple of players going down with the cramps, and you spoke about the conditions here and whether there might be a drinks break, especially later on. A few of the players really starting to struggle from both sides with the cramps. It is quite hot out there. Smart play, Zeke Foster, as you spoke about, Andy. His side really needed that. Drives it in a touch. Slowing the game down.
You can tell every time I come back out to Parramatta, there's always a drinks break. It's not always on the field. 15 minutes to go. 2-point footy game. We hope you're enjoying this on Fox Sports. Penalty here for the local boys. The penalty count, 7-5. Just slowly turning. The Eels very, very silly in the opening half, in particular the back end of the half. Did themselves no favours and gave the ref no choice but to blow a penalty.
Yeah, with the hand on the football there, Jared Toot just doing too much, and 3-0 the penalties. The Raiders, so much ill discipline in this second half.
Playing on the inside now, looking to the outside. Good run from the back rower. Jack Morris comes to the fullback, and Cronin has brought down a great tackle. Akafolau, it's on here for the Eels. Through Doolan, now to Dargan. He spins it wide. 6 again is the call. They flick it out the back, Parramatta. This is a zero play. They don't need to do anything silly because they've got the Raiders really struggling. Madison playing to Craigfield. He is brought down just 2 metres out. A try for the lead. It's on this side of the park if the Eels can get here. And the Raiders know it. They are calling for numbers. Dargan. Morris. Beautiful tackle down low from Canberra. Desperate defence. Back to the playmaking number 7. Out to Olapo. Olapo is tackled right under the black dot. Still 2 plays into it. Rebound and try.
Touched by Canberra, happy with the grounding. Yep.
Tyrell Fuimano. The Eels lead. It has taken a while. They've finally found their mojo. 66.5 minutes in, they lead for the very first time.
And this was the lead-up play. Jack Morris out on the outside. A great bust down that left-hand edge. They go to the right-hand side. The little kick in behind there by Madison. It just bobbles out of the hands of Trey Williams. And on the spot with the Parramatta Eels. The Eel discipline from the Raiders there, really hurting them. And Fuimano there just cleans up the scraps as it bobbles out of the hand of Trey Williams. Great little kick in behind. All of this pressure, all of this possession has converted into valuable points.
Superstar, this kid. Potentially, if he keeps his head on. He loves wearing jersey 3 or 4. And I think there's been a chat in the last week or two between Luke Burt, head coach Brad Arthur, and young Tyrell Fuimano. They said, we're glad you like playing in the centres, but if you're playing here, you'll be playing in the back row. We see you as a back rower. And he is a genuine back rower. That's where he's playing today, despite the fact he's wearing the 3 jersey. A change in kicker here. A 2-point lead. They can't buy a goal today. 1 from 5 for the Eels. 22-20. There's my new man, Jack Morris. I got an under-20s crush today on this young bloke. He is killing it.
You've brushed Kalani going since he's out injured. So there you go.
Kalani's my Canberra man.
All right, okay.
Jack Morris is my man today. Hasn't he had a game, and he's shown a little bit of everything. He's got a really good work rate. Nice and quick for a back rower. Smart. Rips in. Now, what can the Eels do here, leading for the first time as we move in towards the final 10 minutes? And what have Canberra got? I've got no doubt they've got more points in than the Raiders. Power running from Parramatta. Exceptional midfield. Tom Amone there, taking 4 or 5 with him, through the centre and over the line to Olapo. That try there is the reward for hard work.
Wow, Tui Olapo there looked like he was shot out of a cannon. He came screaming onto the ball, and then the huge left foot step. Too much space in behind the ruck there from the Raiders, and bang, watch that. Thomas Cronin was left on his knees. Watch this left foot step. Bang! Thomas Cronin on the ground underneath the post. More points for Parramatta.
Oh, what a step too. The head fake, the whole bit going here. Running at you, and then away from you. Good boy. Tui Olapo. Try number 1, and one he will long remember. That's the Eels' 6th try for the afternoon. He joins Doolan, Fuimano, Akafalau, Matalifi, and Ceruto. Matalifi still in control of the kicking tee. And right in front, they get one. And more importantly, they move beyond a converted try. 28-20 for the young Eels over the young Raiders.
You're exactly right. That 8-point buffer there looks to go for a short kickoff. Are they, the Raiders here? No, they're going to go long here, but they need the ball back in. Under 10 minutes to go now. They need 2 tries. Parramatta just need to hang on, do what they've done in this second half, and it's been through clinical play there. They've been really good. Their discipline has been much better than the first half. Playing to the edges with speed is playing dividends for them. Dargan heavily involved in their outside men.
What we've seen today from this under-20s group is exactly the opposite to what we saw from them last week against the Panthers. They were so competitive in the first half last week and garbage in the second half. And garbage probably best sums up their first 40-minute performance here, but the second, they have been really switched on. Ceruto back into this side. He'll be hard to displace from here. Now they don't have to do anything silly. Last tackle. Short side, pumping it over the top as Price. Williams, playing a dangerous game there. Young Trey, but did so very well because he was outweighed and outnumbered, but somehow stayed in the field of play.
He was Houdini there trying to stay in field. It was amazing. He was trying to get that ball to go into touch. I know they're out on the feet, but they need the ball in play here. They need the clock's working against them as they get a much-needed penalty. This will give them an opportunity to...
And that's their first penalty of the second half. So their first penalty, 32.5 minutes. And if you've watched any under-20s football before, 8 points in 7 minutes, gets done regularly.
Hold, go.
Charging forward, Samuel. Ball is dropped here on the first right on halfway. And Samuel puts his hands over his eyes, hoping it's a bad dream.
Look at Parramatta players, they're coming in.
Oh, it looks like the Harlem Globetrotters. There's high fives everywhere.
Some strong defence field in there. The field
Strip.
twins. His hands around the football. The referee's called it that it's a knock-on. They've come in. And the fatigue levels, you can just see they just faded badly, the Raiders. Through the good work of the Parramatta Eels, though, they've been fantastic. As we've spoken about, the short turnaround and a couple of the road trips have done it really, really tough.
The Fields boys have been good today. Craig, a lot more game time than Tommy today. Tom started from the bench with the inclusion of Ceruto to the centres and Fuimano into the back row. This to seal it for Parramatta. Price to Madison.
Go together and square holds.
Craig Field to his feet, albeit slowly. Madison dummies to his outside, looks back on the inside, then flings the ball to Mason Ceruto, who beat one, beat a second and lunges at the line. He is denied by Lewis. On the first bounce to Dargan. Grubbers towards the post. Parra there in numbers.
I've got to ground him. I've got to ground him.
And Jack Morris, he's calling it.
The number 4's called offside.
We have an offside. Jack Morris denied.
He was confident. He got his hands to the ball there, and I think the referee was going to call it, but he's called Dane Akafalau offside.
Yep.
On the outside there. So the Raiders still just with a chance there. That would have sealed it.
Oh, you can just see the legs of Akafalau there.
It's touch and go, but they've called it. They've made the call.
Happy to run with it. Back our officials, as we all should, and accept their decisions, especially, probably even more so in these younger grades, because we do have younger, more inexperienced referees. And And that obviously a clear message to our junior fields across the nation, irrespective of the sport. Raiders, they haven't given up just yet. Cronin on that left wing. Scored a try in the opening half. Looking to turn this into a thrilling finish as Williams inside the 10. Last play, the play of the game. Out to Lewis. A little wider to Foster and straight into the Parramatta arms. Poorly directed ball from the Raiders' number 7, who's had another good game.
Yeah, Zeke Foster, he's had a great game, but this time just come up with the wrong option there. The Parramatta Eels, credit to their defence, though. They came up hard. He was trying to get a bit of early ball there to Jack Williams to do his thing, but Akafolau jumps in a line, and that will be game. You would think the Parramatta Eels, they should hold on from here. And a tough and a gutsy effort after being behind by 16 points in the first half, have totally dominated the Raiders in the second half.
You're not going to hear that term too often in 2016, totally dominate the Raiders. They're a good footy side, so too is this Parramatta side. Their 16-point come from behind win will be the 3rd biggest comeback of the season to date. 16 points. The biggest was 28 points. It was a Monday night at Shark Park. Melbourne led 34 points to 6 at halftime. They got done 48-40 by the Sharks. An amazing game, an amazing turnaround, and for the poor Stormers, it was like watching a car crash in slow motion. You didn't want to watch, you didn't want to take a peek, but you couldn't look away. And they got reeled in. Big victory for the Sharks, that one. Kurt DeLuey. Pressed with this young fella today. Here's Price. Beats one. Playing with the ball there. William Samuel. He was exhausted. He was confused. His teammates were exhausted as well. He took a play at it. And Parramatta, instead of just going for the goal and using the clock, run to the line. They're well and truly over it, but not to the ground.
Held up, tackle 1 on the 10.
Good work from the Raiders there. Great work, as a matter of fact. They now can't win this game, and it would have been very easy to fall off that tackle and let the Eels score another point, but they showed a lot of commitment and a lot of ticky. You should be proud of your team there, Canberra fans.
Move now, give him space.
Could well be Parramatta's last attacking set of the game. Out to Dargan, and it's on here. Numbers. Doolan to the line. He claims his second. It's awarded, and it's official. The Parramatta Eels will win it. Comes from behind in a big, big way.
Yeah, so much space on the outside. Lachlan claims he was taken out there by Field and denied the opportunity. There probably is a cause for concern there. We don't have the video referees in the NYC. It goes out to the wide there. And Doolan sees a little bit of space, gets through Kotrick, scores over, but that's just back on there. Great execution, great discipline in the second half. Raiders fatigue levels fading. And all of the points, it's been all Parramatta. 6 tries in the second half.
And it's the first time the Raiders have been held scoreless in the second half since round 15 last year. So not only should we praise the Eels' attack, give their defence a big rap. However, you look at the stats, in particular the possession stat, 59% of the football in favour of Parramatta, just 41 for Canberra. Parramatta has had 10 more sets with the football, amazing numbers, but Parramatta has achieved that with 40 minutes of very disciplined footy. The goal is converted. And with just a couple of seconds left, the Raiders race up to halfway. They want to restart play. They kick it deep. And the siren sounds. Parramatta want nothing to do with it.
Drop out.
16 points behind at half-time. They win it by 14. Parramatta, 34, have defeated Canberra 20. Luke Firth, the victorious coach, should I say. Former Eels superstar.